Hello from Beer Australia Reviews, and today we'll be sampling, tasting and reviewing another beer from one of my favourite breweries in the Margaret River region. This is from the Beerfarm and it's the Asam Boi. It's called the Asam Boi Gose, which is a sour beer. This one is actually the Asam Boi. Apparently, is the name of salted plums that come from Singapore, and someone has had the idea of making a light Berliner Weiss beer and then mixing in salted plums and brewing the result. And this is the thing. So I had a tiny little sample of this one whilst I was in the Margaret River region, whilst I was on the beer tour with Dicko from Margaret River Brewery Tours. I had a little sample of this one. I also had a little bit of a discussion with the guy on the day, and he rated this one as one of his top 3 beers from the Margaret River region. So I've already agreed with him that we both like Cheeky Monkey West Coast IPA. I've also got the Black Brewing Co. Bow Bow Marshmallow Stout to try in a couple of days' time. But today it's the turn of the Beerfarm Asam Boi Gose, which is a sour beer. Okay, now, so I'm not really a big fan of sour beers, to be honest. I'm not really big on mixing extra things into the beer, but if Dicko from Margaret River Beer Tours thinks this one's actually a good beer, then I'm willing to give it a try and tell you what I think about it. So now, from the website, this one says it has malts, carapils, wheat malt, pale malt, rolled barley, hops, US Eldorado, US Mosaic and Oz Summer. And it says it's a deep orange with dense rocky head, sweet complex aromas, and an evocative, intriguing, sugary, sweet, salty, fruity, sour palate. Okay. Well, we'll see whether or not we think that this one actually lives up to the hype. And okay, well, right, let's open the thing up and give it a try. Oh, it's definitely got the colours there. It's like a pinky orange, not quite a salmon colour. Quite cloudy. Decent amount of fizz, decent amount of head. Oh, and here's the sediment. Okay, make sure to get the sediment into this one, because if it's in there, you do need to get the sediment into the glass. There it goes. So now I'm getting the aromas from this one already, like I'm expecting this one to be a sweet and sour beer. I'm expecting it to be hitting me from like a couple of different directions at the same time. And but let's see whether or not it's as good as Dicko actually says he thinks this one is. So, okay, let's give this one a try. It's definitely got the sourness in there. I'm getting like a bit of citrus, and there's like a drying note in there as well. There's fruitiness. Now, if there's not fruitiness with actual plums and plum juice going into the beer, then I think they've missed something. So, yeah, it smells good. Oh, that's sour. Yep, I think they've hit the sour note on this one. It's a bit drying. I think this one's going to take a few goes to pull apart. It doesn't have any maltiness in there whatsoever. It's quite a light malty beer. It's very drying, I'm finding, on this one. It's getting around the top of my mouth rather than being like bitterness. It's like a drying sort of sensation. There's definitely a lot of citric acid in this one, though. The citruses hit me all the way round. And so now, not as aromatic as I was expecting, to be honest. You get some aromas, but it's not the deepest of aromas. Well, it's a nice beer. It's a refreshing beer. This is definitely a warm day beer. If you are on a trip to Margaret River on a hot summer's day, you should definitely pop into the beer farm and actually try this one. Do I prefer this one to the other beer farm beers? No, I don't. I would have a beer farm lager and a beer farm pale ale and their IPA on any day of the week before I'd have this one. So I think this one, it's not my favourite style of beer. I would always try different stores of a beer though. You should always go and try the different ones that are out there, because you never know when you're going to hit on something that's that actually really hits the spot with you. So I recommend that you try all the different beers. Now, Beer Farm itself, though, I really like the place. It's one of the newer Margaret River brew pubs that's opened in the last few years. It's actually on an old dairy farm. And they, when you walk into the brewery itself, into the pub, you actually walk past all of the milking stalls where they used to milk the cows, and they are big on sustainability. If you have a read of their website, and they're trying to look after the environment, which is good for everybody. So it's a company that I can recommend from that point of view. I can recommend their beers for all the others that I've tried. I really like them all, and it's a really good venue. The hospitality is good. They do really high quality pub food if you go there during the daytime. So I recommend that you actually do give a visit to the beer farm if you get a chance to go to the Margaret River region. But would I recommend this beer wholeheartedly? I don't think I can recommend it wholeheartedly, because it's not my favourite type of a beer. So, I mean, there are other beers out there which I prefer compared to this one. It's interesting. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be the first choice of beer for me. It wouldn't be my first recommendation either. I'd recommend it from a try every beer point of view, but whether or not I would say try this one first, probably not. Now let's just have a quick other read of the website and just see what else. So from the website, I think that the description of the thing is actually quite correct. Sweet, complex aroma. I'm not sure it's the most complex beer that I've ever tried. It does have lots of different flavours in there, but whether or not it's the most complex, no, I wouldn't say it is. I'd reserve the complex beers for anything like a deep malt beer, like a barley wine, or one of these imperial stouts, or even an imperial India Pale Ale that are out there. But it's an interesting beer though. I would definitely give it a try. Whether or not I would buy a 4-pack of this one, no. Whilst I was at the beer farm in Margaret River, I picked up a mixed 4-pack, and I'd be happy to pick this one up in a mixed 4-pack. If next time I go there in another few months' time, I will pick this one up again and have another can of it. But I wouldn't drink it every day. It's not my favourite style of beer. But I mean, give it a try. What's it say? Sugary, sweet, salty, fruity, sour. Yep, it probably has all of those things and a bit more. For me though, I think it's a little bit too sour for its own good. It's okay. It's just not my favourite style of beer. Sour beers never will be, and mixing fruit into a beer will never be my favourite thing to do with a beer. I prefer a beer that's just made of beer. So if you've ever tried Berlinner Weiss, it's a really interesting beer. So this one, if you have the read of the website, it will tell you actually that it's based on a kettle-soured Berliner Weiss beer. So a Berliner Weiss beer though is usually a low alcohol beer, like about 2.5%. And you actually mix, the idea is with those beers, you mix cordials in there with them. So this is the origin of lager and lime. And they get, if you go to Germany and have a Berliner Weiss, they will give you the option of like a few different types of fruit cordial to go in the Berliner Weiss. So I suppose it actually fits with that style of beer. But there we go. Okay, it's the Beerfarm Asam Boi Gose, which is a sour beer. Yep, from, so this is another one of the Margaret River beers. Yeah. Give it a try, and especially go and visit the beer farm if you get a chance. Thanks for watching.